The greatest golfer is live, and I'm thrilled to be joined with one of the greatest golfers in Valley history, Jonah Karzmer. How are you, sir?
Wow, that's a nice intro. That's very kind of you to say nice things publicly. Everybody should hear what you say to me privately.
Now, I'm allowed to have some honest opinions privately, but they're momentary streaks of frustration. They're not like
Mhm.
permanent feelings toward you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I like the public comments, so let's stick with those.
What's where have I disappointed you privately?
No, I feel like you're just when the camera's recording. I will say positive when sometimes when it's just you and I, it's kind of like, what the heck? We're right here. No call here. You know,
Well,
sometimes a little bit more pressing off camera.
we're at different schedules, and I need you sometimes. I mean, golf needs you, and
Well,
as a person heavily involved in golf from my end of it, when I'm reaching out toward a person heavily involved in golf from your end of it, I get a little scared when I don't hear from
yeah, I'll do a better job at getting back quickly.
you. Plus, I'm
When
fragile.
answering the call, you know.
Plus, I'm fragile. Look at me.
Fragile is not something a term I would use, but okay, I'll take it.
So, how was your golf season this summer?
Greatest is certainly the goal each year. Um, I feel like I had a good opportunity in 2019 and let it slide, and I feel like I had a good opportunity again this year and didn't capitalize on some of the shots that I could have on the final round and ended up losing by one shot at the Lake Club. Obviously, I had this year. I would say that was a successful Lake Club season. I select by Brandon to win the club championship, and Jimmy Phillips and I won the Old Pal. I haven't done that in a while since I was partners with you back in I don't know what year it was.
What happened to that partnership? I have a foggy memory.
Yeah, you dropped me. The next year I didn't win the club championship, and I got a call from Mr. Franco saying, "Hey, I know you're busy. Maybe we shouldn't play together next year." And I took it. I said, "Okay, no problem. Who are you playing with?" Joey Salone. I said, "Oh, that's funny. I lost the club championship to Joey Salone, and Joey's your new partner." So
The greatest golfer aims to serve a lot of needs, and I just saw that Joey was a young, needy player who would have benefited from senior leadership around him. So it was one
and
of
he did. He won the greatest golfer, what, the year after you guys played together, right? So
how important in your life still is competitive golf, even though you're out of Division I golf and you're two beautiful daughters, beautiful wife, everything else, and a cool business going. Which, by the way, the point of this interview today is to get to that your newest business venture.
yeah.
Amid all that you have going on, how important still is competitive golf?
Certainly still lights a fire within me, to compete. I think the hard part is where I used to play in 5, 6, 7, 8 events a year. It's now down to really one kind of Grand Slam event being the greatest, and then club championship is still something that I hold dear to me. Really, the only two events that I play in on an individual basis anymore. So um, I still love playing. I love competing. I want to win when I play in them. But the number of events that I play in has drastically decreased. I don't compete really anymore on a statewide level. When I was in college, I played in the USAM qualifier every year. I qualified one year to go to East Lake where they have the tour championship. Got to experience that. And so the national and state tournaments have kind of gone by the wayside as life has gotten busier.
What are some of the things that you were going through when you said, I'm done with the Ohio Am?
The Ohio Am is really a junior. I don't want to say junior. It's a younger guy. It's a college. That it's dominated by the 16 to 23, 24-year-olds. So for a while there, when I was in that age group and could compete, I had a couple decent years, maybe in the top 10. But after college, you start talking about getting a job and starting a family and committed relationships. And here we are 10 years later, where greatest golfer and club championship are my two main focal points from an individual competition standpoint.
And what's funny with you all and your elite crowd of golfers that you hang out with, as opposed to the schleps like me, what I love is the detail with which you guys will go. You can recount shots from some of our matches that I can't even remember a day later and a year later, you're still telling stories. Losing lingers as much as winning. And I love hearing you guys break down your greatest golfer shots, and particularly the struggles. And even to this
Yeah.
day, 4 years later, to hear you guys talk about your play on number 4 that year, that was a turning point.
Right.
It's still a fun back and forth. You guys have fun with it, which is obviously why I'm only. If it was a sore spot, I wouldn't bring it up. But knowing that it's a tough chapter, I'd still love you to go through what was going on as you're about to win greatest.
Yeah, that was back, I think, 2017. And it's funny that you say that because I can't remember, to be honest, good shots that I hit from a week ago. But, I can remember the shot in 2001, the U.S. Amateur that I played in at Eastlake. And I can tell you the yardage and the setup and which way the wind was blowing and the club that I hit on the 2 shots that I know cost me getting into match play. Well, but the shot you're referring to, 2017, I had played really well the day before at Oak Tree.
Was that a 64 at Oak Tree?
Yeah, I think so. Par 71. I think I shot 7 under.
Yeah, and hadn't played the course before, and I think from the administrative end of things, we were nervous that it was like turning into a young man's division. And
right.
It was a Joey Salone, Brandon Plachinsky show, and all of a sudden, old man Karzmer cards a 64 on Saturday.
Right. Yeah, so I was out of position after day 1, took the lead going into day 3 with a good round at Oak Tree. And we start on the back, obviously, to finish on number 9 at the Lake Club, and played okay, but we were all just kind of playing okay, and I had a 2-shot lead with 6 holes to play. Number 4 at the Lake Club is, 300 yards, drivable, potentially drivable par 4, some water in front, and I had a 2-shot lead and was just kind of starting to find my groove. I felt like I had hit the ball fairly well on 1, 2, and 3, our previous 3 holes. And Jimmy Phillips is on the bag. We're talking through whether or not to hit driver, go for it, and try to just stay aggressive. I end up making the bad call to try to lay up in the fairway off the tee, a little bit more conservative. And I block it about 10 yards to the right of my target. And I end up in the right rough, some overhanging tree limbs about 10 yards in front of me, water in front. And to this day, I still think that there was some sort of acorn underneath the front of the ball because I didn't hit what I felt like was a terrible punch shot. It was just supposed to be kind of a low cutting scoot up on the left side of the green. And the ball kind of shot straight up into the air, hit the tree right in front of me, and the tree limb dropped down and kind of like slow motion trickled in the water in front of us, where we all just kind of went, ugh. And from there, took a ball drop on the back of the green, 3-putt for a triple bogey. Brandon makes a birdie, and I went from 2 up to 2 down, and another second place finish. Thanks for bringing it up. But no, it's, you're right. It is something that I can remember the discussion. I can remember where people were standing, who was there, what tree limb it hit, how it just kind of trickled in the water at the end. And yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, as much as I enjoy watching all you guys play and having that chance to play with you guys, when you let us, pal along once a summer, once every other summer,
Right.
What's really cool is the mental focus that you have and the memory, and it just I envy it. It's mind-boggling sometimes, a little crazy and creepy. I wonder if you have that much knowledge of your house, the way you have knowledge of your golf shot.
No, I don't. I'm not very, it's weird the things that stick in my mind and some things are just oblivious to me. So
how has golf helped you in business?
I think tremendously. I don't think from a business standpoint, I'd have done 10% of what I've done without having grown up in golf and building the relationships. I'd say from a personality standpoint, golf has shaped me as an individual. Golf probably more so than any other sport gives you the time to analyze the next shot, right? A lot of sports are reactionary, and you call hut and your lineman and you just start fighting, or somebody's throwing a 98-mile-an-hour pitch at you and you have to swing. Golf, you've got 5 minutes in between shots sometimes when you're playing in tournaments walking by yourself. So I think it has hopefully taught me how to take a deep breath and analyze the situation and try to make a decision based off of the variables that you can identify and try to go through in your mind. Through golf, I've been able to learn how to interact with a lot of different personalities, and I think that has helped translate into the business world when it comes to building relationships or trying to sell something, identifying really who you're dealing with and who you're trying to do business with, and what is it that they care about, how do they interact, and how then can what I'm trying to sell to them accomplish what they're looking for.
Let's talk about one of your next business ventures. That's about that. You are going to take over some large space at the Southern Park Mall, and you're going to open the Bunker. Talk to me about it.
The old Jillian space was available. I've got an uncle in the restaurant business with Bogies out by Knoll Run in Lowville. We had talked about trying to do something together in Boardman. I've always felt like there was an opportunity for some indoor golf something. When the Dome, unfortunately collapsed up in Girard, 5 years ago now, kind of left a void for golfers in our area for indoor anything. And when we started walking through the space available, I kind of saw in my mind an opportunity to do kind of an all-in-one center that would include food and beverage and a lot of options on that front. We've got a membership component that we could talk about, but it just all fell into place over a series of 15-month conversations. So we've got 37,000 square feet indoors, another 6,000 square foot patios being put on. We'll have 1, 2, 3, at least 4 different dining options, one large public bar, a members bar, a private room. And then from a golf standpoint, I'm very excited about, we have 12 simulators in total. So we'll have 10 of them set up really for entertainment purposes, 8 in a main entertainment room, and 2 will be in the back room, which we're calling the Ben Curtis Academy at the Bunker. So that's really designed to be a practice facility for people who want to work on their game during the wintertime. So we'll have an entertainment component that's kind of a indoor Top Golf type situation where you can obviously come out and use the simulator to play 65 different courses, but there's a lot of fun stuff to it as well. And then the back room will be a practice facility with kind of more of a dedicated learning center with a short game area and putting green and driving range and a classroom. And
talk about the partnerships that are going to be front facing. You mentioned Bogies.
Bogies has been on since day one. And to be honest, I would not have explored an opportunity like this without a food and beverage partner like Bogies. And then the back room, the practice facility, that's when I reached out to Ben and I said, look, I think we've got an opportunity to do something beneficial for our golf community. And, Ben Curtis, not to go too much into him, played on tour, British Open champion, winning Ryder Cup team in 2008. He and I played together and lived together for a little bit in college and have stayed pretty close throughout.
How did the idea go over with the folks over at the mall?
So the mall has been great. The process took longer than I thought it would take, but I find that to be the case in a lot of business deals I've gone through. But they have been extremely supportive of the idea since our first meeting. When we sat down the first time, I said, guys, this is going to sound kind of crazy, and it's probably something that will never happen, but here's what I'm kind of picturing in my mind. And they, in the first meeting, said, no, we're going to make this happen. If they really wanted to make it happen, they could have said, great idea, let us go talk to some other people. But, they backed my idea and me personally throughout the entire process. So they have been, I can't say enough about what we've accomplished with them to get to this point. We were about to sign the lease in February of this year. And to get open for like now. And COVID hit and obviously, just kind of blew things up immediately. It obviously held up signing the lease. And we eventually got through that. Hopefully be open sometime between, I'm saying July 4th and Labor Day of next year of 2021. And COVID, hopefully has less of an impact, or a minimal impact next year. But I think at this point, we're probably planning on it still having an impact in, our operations and when we open, and, how close we're building tees next to each other, and how we get some air purifiers and circulate more outdoor air indoors. And so it's brought a whole, another set of conversations to the table.
I was gonna say, as bad as it is overall, the timing of it was perfect pretty much in your situation, I think, because so many things you might have built and anchored in,
Right.
if you were 3 months earlier, 6 months earlier in the process, that now you can kind of back up, and because this will be a new norm for us. We'll get through.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly the half full way of looking at it. Yes, it's better that it happened prior to us signing than, had we signed and started doing construction and had everything put on hold. I really don't know what we would have done at that point. It would have been much worse for us as a business, had it happened after we had signed and started the construction. Correct.
Yeah. Well, I remember when you were first talking about it, I thought it was a good idea. I think I had some thoughts on it, but I was more so fun to watch you piece it together and assemble the different players and like patiently walk through the process, and so it's been cool. And
it's been a process. I
think
think
to finally see it, to see it on the news that night, and I think the text you sent out was, well, I guess it's for real now.
Yeah, I guess it's official. No, it's been fun, and I think I'm excited about tying back into the golf. I think the entertainment part of the golf will be fun, and I hope people find enjoyment from it and use it. I'm still passionate about golf in our valley. I'm still passionate about junior golf, so I'm really excited about what I think we can provide on that front. I think the Learning Center, I put myself back in my 14-year-old shoes, and I say, all right, what do I wish I had at 14 in this area, and trying to build that out. And it's fun to get to, think of it and then say, okay, well, let's make it happen. I look forward to having the greatest in there. I think we've got a dedicated space in the Learning Center that we, look to include a lot of greatest materials and some multimedia stations for past events, and a podcast center to have a regular, weekly chat like this with some golfers from the area. And I think hopefully you find some value in it, and we have a nice indoor home for greatest starting next year.
I think that would be splendid. I think it also fits into the vision I've always had for greatest since probably year 2, year 3. I'd be lying if I said I saw it right away, but what I saw quickly, especially after you came in with the ideas for junior golf and such, was competition became the third most important part to me of greatest. Quickly, I stacked up on there the camaraderie above the competition, and then even above the camaraderie, what I like is the community. So to me, when you're putting a facility together as you are now, I love the community and the camaraderie, and that it can still serve the competition. I never want to get rid of competition. It's done so much in my life. So competition has to stay as part of our process, but I really want to emphasize camaraderie and community. It's what I enjoy most about greatest, even today as we talk. So doing it there, I appreciate that, and I would be thrilled to have a partnership.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it, and
thank you.
Talk golf and talk greatest soon.
Yeah, look forward to it. Thanks for the time.